Hi, welcome to another culinary experience with your host, Chef Pedro Diaz. I've been getting a lot of emails regarding a lot of difficult topics, and today we have one from a young friend of mine in California. Her name is Susan. She wanted to know how to take a chicken and discard it properly. Now, basically a chicken can be cut in 8 pieces. You cut it down the breast, that's 2. Between the wings and the thigh, that's 4, 6. Cut the thighs in half, you have 8. Take the wings off, you're straight. But I'm going to take it a little bit further today. What we're going to do today on this segment is not going to be any cooking. It's just going to be discarding of bones. Of chicken, actually. We're going to save the bones for a chicken stock, which is good for the winter, especially now that we got the flu season and everything. The carcass that's going to be left over is good to put into a pot of water with carrots, celery, and onions. And just let that cook on a slow heat for about half an hour to 45 minutes. That liquid that's going to be remaining is just pure chicken broth. And it's good for when you're at night and you're feeling sick and you're feeling down or something like that. It's a quicker picker-upper. Plus, later on in the next segment, we're going to have a French cut chicken wing. I'm going to show you the process right now. But before we get to this, I just want to say that a lot of people have been asking me if I have a list. No, I don't have a list. It's the camera. It records sound so accurately that you kind of hear a lot of S's and P's. So you get a lot of lists coming out. So let's start off with the chicken. First thing you want to do is always trim the fat off from the bottom of the chicken. Get this extra little pieces out so that you can work cleanly. Now, always face the chicken towards you. When you have the breast right in front of you, and inside in the center, there's a carcass. I mean, there's a cartilage. What you want to do, you want to go on the side of the cartilage. So you want to strike your knife very slowly until you hit the bone. It's good to always use your fingers as a guideline as you're going down. Keep the knife against the bone as you're going down slowly. Always use a small knife and a sharp knife. A paring knife is essential for this job. And just follow it straight down. I mean, the bone, the carcass will guide you through the sideline. So you start from the breast, you go down until you hit the bone from the wing. Every bone has a joint. Now, the easiest way to cut a chicken is always cut it on the joint. Right where it bends at, there's a gap between it. The knife will go through there like butter, just like with the legs on the knees, and just like with the breast at the end. So what you're going to do, you're going to put your finger right in between the bone and just slice it very quick. As you can see, that already separated right there. So we're just going to keep continuing down through the side of the skull. Now on the leg, you're also going to have that bone again. All you're going to do is snap it. Just bend it down. It's going to come apart on its own. There shouldn't be too much hassling, too much trouble. And what you have basically in front of you left, it's what we call a half a chicken. So this is a nice half a chicken. This is a pretty big chicken. Actually, it's always good to get a hearty, nice piece of chicken. Now, what you got here is the breast, the wings, and the leg. So what you're going to do, you're going to cut right in between, and you're going to have the leg, as you can see. And this right here is the breast with the chicken wing still attached. The reason we call it a French cut is because what you're going to do, you're going to cut off the chicken wing, but just the wing. Just the wing part. You're going to leave the nub, actually the small little leg, attached to the breast. Ergo, we call this the French cut breast. So we're going to save this for the next segment that you're going to see later on today, where I'm going to add it with grilled vegetables and maybe a potato pancake. Remember, this is only a 10-minute window. I got several recipes, requests for recipes. I have a friend of mine, Anthony Rodriguez. Me and him go back like about 30, 40 years. Actually, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the culinary field. He's the one that went into school back in the 1980s, and I went behind him. And, you know, we've both been around for 20 years doing this. And he asked me about a rice called arroz con chorizo. Now, I think that you should, when you work with anything like chorizo, that's a Latin sausage that has a lot of flavors in it, that essence, that oil that's on it is what you really want to use to continue making your rice. So I would slice the chorizos in half and cook it in a little bit of oil, and get all that rendered fat out of it and all that flavor that's inside of that chorizo, and add the rice to it, also cilantro, salt, water, and sofrito, and let that cook just like a regular rice. Now the key ingredient to this is achote oil. Achote oil is little bits of achote seeds that you can buy in the supermarket. and simmer them in oil and get that rich red stuff. We use that for pasteles a lot when we want to give food color, when we want to give color to the food. Actually, it's a great natural food coloring. So I think that those steps right there will give you a nice arroz con chorizo without a doubt. So now I got another little trick up my sleeve. This leg right here, the best thing I like about this is the trick is to debone this chicken but leave the leg intact. Now this technique is very important because you're going to have to deal with a small knife, and you have to put your knife all around the chicken and just start scraping that bone down. And keep scraping that bone down until, I recommend that you take your time doing this, because it's essential that at the end you have a full chicken, and just pop the bone out. As you can see, that bone just comes out right there. But your meat is still intact. So you still have the whole chicken. Now you still got this remaining bone in the bottom. So the trick to that one is the same thing. Get your knife, cut around the bone, get it in there. Now, the reason I like this is because you can go a step further than just cutting up your chicken into little pieces and deep frying them. You could do a stuffed chicken leg. You got the carcass that's going to be left over that you can put into a stock with celeries, onions, and carrots. That's all you need. You don't need salt. You don't need anything for that. And let that broth just simmer away. You can create many things with a whole chicken. You just have to know how to properly cut it apart. So on my next segment, which is going to be following this segment, we're going to go into cooking this, searing this breast here, this French cut chicken breast, and we're going to do with some grilled vegetables, and we're going to make a nice little entree dinner that you can serve to your husbands and your loved ones. So, ergo, I'm going to let you go now. I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to tune into the next segment, which, like I said, we only have a 10-minute window. And we're going to continue talking about the emails that I've been getting in. I have emails coming in from all over the world for people who are tuning in on YouTube to see my videos, and as well as my families and friends on Facebook. So tune in on my next episode. Talk to you later. Be good. Another culinary experience. Pedro Diaz. Peace out.